A production had a broken login system. Users were getting logged out every few minutes, and nobody on the team knew why. Support tickets were piling up, the on-call engineer had already spent an hour scrolling through logs, and the usual guess and check debugging wasn't going anywhere. 11 minutes later, the bug was found, fixed, tested, and pushed to production. No debugger was opened, no documentation was read, no Stack Overflow tab, no printing variables to the console, no guessing. The only tool running was a terminal window, and the entire fix cost nothing. Here's why that's possible now, and it's not because the tool is smart in some vague marketing sense. It's because this tool reads your entire project the way a senior engineer would on their first day. Not one file, not one function, the whole structure. The imports, the tests, the Git history, the way your modules talk to each other. Then it plans a fix before touching a single line of code. That planning step is the part almost nobody talks about, and it's the actual reason this replaces hours of manual debugging with minutes. Most tools jump straight to generating code. This one stops, reads, reasons, and only then acts, which is the exact order a competent engineer follows and the exact order most beginners skip. Before we go further, tap like on this video, drop a comment with the operating system you code on, and subscribe. Not because I need the number to go up, because the next part only works if you follow along, and subscribing means you won't lose this when you close the tab. If you've ever bookmarked a tutorial and never gone back to it, you already know why that matters. Let's start with what this tool actually is, because most explanations get it wrong. It's not autocomplete. It's not a chat window bolted onto your editor. It's an agent that lives inside your terminal, and it can read files, edit files, run your test suite, and use Git, all from natural language instructions. You describe a problem the way you describe it to a coworker, and it goes and does the work, then shows you exactly what changed before anything is committed. Think of the difference between asking someone to hand you a wrench and asking someone to fix the engine while you watch. Autocomplete hands you the wrench. This does the second thing. That last part matters more than people realize. Every change is shown to you first. Nothing gets committed behind your back. You see a diff, line by line, additions and deletions, exactly like reviewing a coworker's pull request. That's the difference between a toy and something a professional team can actually trust in a real codebase. Teams that skip this review step are the ones you hear complaining about AI tools breaking production. Teams that use the review step are the ones quietly shipping twice as fast and never mentioning it, because it just works. Now, the part you came here for. Getting this running without paying for it first. Here's the honest version, because half the tutorials online are already outdated, written months ago before pricing and access changed. Step 1. Install it directly from the terminal, using the official installer. One command, no separate package manager needed, and it updates itself in the background afterward. This is free. The tool itself costs nothing to have on your machine. You're not buying software here. You're installing a client, the same way installing a web browser doesn't cost anything, even though the sites you visit through it might. Step 2, and this is the part people skip. Running it needs usage credits, the same way any AI system needs compute behind it. Someone has to pay for the actual thinking happening on the other end, and pretending otherwise is how people end up disappointed 5 minutes in. If you're already on a Claude subscription at the individual tier, this is already included. No extra sign-up, no separate bill. If you're not, a fresh developer account through the Anthropic console comes with starter credits, enough to genuinely test real workflows on a real project before you decide if it's worth paying for. That's the actual free path. Not a workaround, not a trick, just the starter allowance every new account gets. Use those starter credits deliberately. Don't burn them on a Hello World test. Point them at a real bug in a real project on day 1, because that's the only way you'll actually know if this is worth adopting. Now, let's actually use it, because watching a real session teaches you more than any explanation. Phase 1, diagnosis. Open a terminal inside your project folder and start a session. Instead of jumping straight to fix the bug, start with a question. Ask it to explain what's causing users to get logged out. It reads through your authentication logic, your token handling, your middleware, and comes back with an actual theory, not a guess.
In this case, a token refresh function was firing on every request, instead of only when a token was near expiry, silently invalidating valid sessions. Notice what happened there. It didn't ask you which file to look at. It went and found the relevant code on its own, the same way a new hire with full repo access would after being told something's wrong with logins. Go figure out why.
That's diagnosis. Notice nothing was changed yet. This is the step most developers and most tools rush past. Skipping it is exactly how you end up with a fix that patches symptoms instead of causes. A patch symptom comes back 2 weeks later, usually worse, usually at a worse time, and usually right after everyone's forgotten what the original bug even was. Phase 2, the fix. Now ask for a plan. Not code yet, a plan. Have it lay out exactly what it intends to change and why in plain sentences before writing anything. You'll get something like, adjust the refresh condition to check token expiry, add a guard against duplicate refresh calls, and update the one test file that covers this logic. Review that plan. Reject anything that touches more than it should. Approve the rest. This is the equivalent of reading a pull request description before the code even exists. It costs you 30 seconds and saves you from finding out later that the small fix also touched your billing module for no reason. This is where most people online go wrong, and it's worth pausing on directly. The common mistake is letting an agent like this run wild across an entire codebase with a vague instruction like, fix the bugs, and walking away. That's how you get broken builds, deleted config files, and a pull request nobody can review because it touched 40 files instead of 3. It's not that the tool is careless, it's that vague instructions produce vague, sprawling results, in exactly the same way a vague ticket assigned to a junior developer produces a sprawling, unreviewable mess. Professionals scope every request, small, specific, reviewable, every single time. Treat it like a very fast junior engineer who needs clear direction, not a magician who reads your mind. The narrower the instruction, the better the output, and that rule almost never fails. Phase 3, verification. Once the plan is approved and the edit is made, don't trust it blindly. Run the test suite. Ask it to run the tests itself, right there in the same session, and show you the output. If a test fails, That's the entire workflow. Diagnosis, plan, fix, verify, ship. 4 phases. And notice something. At no point did you hand over control. You approved every step. That's the part critics of these tools usually miss. This isn't about removing the engineer from the loop. It's about removing the tedious parts of the loop and keeping the judgment. Now here's the golden technique that separates people who use this casually from professional teams running it daily. It's a single file, and almost nobody sets it up correctly on their first try. Create a file at the root of your project that describes your codebase, your conventions, your folder structure, commands you use to run tests, and rules you don't want broken. Every session reads this file automatically before doing anything else. Without it, you're explaining your project from scratch every single session. The same context over and over, wasting time and wasting the exact usage credits you're trying to be careful with. The real trick professional teams use, every time it makes a mistake and you correct it, add a line to that file describing the correction. Over weeks, that file becomes accumulated knowledge about your specific project, and the number of times you have to repeat yourself drops to almost 0. Think of it as onboarding documentation you're writing once that then gets read automatically forever after, instead of retyped every time. Keep it short. Around 100 lines is plenty. A bloated file slows every single session down before real work even starts, because it has to read and process that file before it does anything useful. Good entries look like short rules, not paragraphs. Always run the linter before committing. Never modify the payments folder without explicit approval. This project uses 4-space indentation, not 2. I test new AI deals every week. If a new free method comes out, you'll see it here first. Let's go further, because there's a layer above the basics that most tutorials never reach. Parallel sessions.
Once you're comfortable with one session, you can run several at once, each scoped to a different part of the project. One handling the backend fix, while another writes documentation for it. This is where the time savings compound, but it's also where costs compound just as fast, since each session consumes its own usage. Picture 3 terminal tabs open at once. One refactoring a service layer, one writing tests for a module that has none, and one updating an outdated README, all running in parallel instead of one after another. If you're on a limited plan, running 4 sessions at once will burn through your allowance far quicker than running one carefully scoped session at a time. Budget accordingly. Start with one session until scoping instructions feels natural. Parallel sessions multiply mistakes just as efficiently as they multiply progress. Custom commands. You can define your own shortcuts for tasks you repeat constantly. A review checklist